Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday night of stamping. I am Sarah Simon, coming to you from kind of chilly Appleton, Wisconsin. But this is nothing. They are saying our forecast beginning on Saturday, the high is not supposed to get above like 36 degrees. So winter is coming, and maybe even some snow with it. Um, just what you wanted to hear if you're from Wisconsin, right? um, Welcome to all of you here tonight. I have Melanie and Joan and Michelle. I'm going to kind of go through these quick. Um, oh, Michelle said she's missing. She's off to, a Mexican. A comedian. All right. Nancy and Kelly and Kay and Betty. I hope you're off to a good week too, Betty. Diane and Becky and Karen. Holy cow. Marva and Linda and Lori and another Karen. Oh gosh, let's see, where did I leave off here? There we go. Tonya, Julie, and Patty. Hello, Patty. And Mary and Donna and Lisa. Holy cow, lots of you jumping on here tonight. Oh gosh, and more. Angelique, I haven't seen you in a while. Angelique, and you have a different last name. Congratulations. And Anne and Ella, and let's see who else is on here. Denise and Cheryl Gray. Welcome to all of you. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. I do have a little, I don't know if you saw my post, but I do have a little extra bonus for you tonight. I'm doing the 2 cards, and I'm also doing a 3D item, a little box that you could put some sort of a gift in. And so I thought it would be kind of fun as we're getting closer to the holidays. I just realized I never put eye makeup on today. I went into work late. So yesterday was kind of a marathon day. I went in, religion days are always marathon days when we have religion at night because I stay straight through because we start with kids at 5 and we don't end with kids till 7:30. Well, then I had to go to a parish meeting after that, which started at 7. So I was a half an hour late, and they said, "Can you do all your cleanup from religion after the meeting because you're already coming to the meeting late?" And I'm like, "Well, you're the one that scheduled it when I have religion." So anyway, I went to the meeting. It got done a little after 8:30. Then I had to go clean everything. And then my parents are so nice to let Lila come and stay with them so she's not alone all day on those days. So I had to go pick her up. And my mom is so sweet. She has dinner for me when I get there. So I sat and ate. And by the time I got home, Kathy Miller sent me a text. I said, "I am just pulling in my driveway right now." And I had left at like about 7:35. I had to stop and get gas in the morning. So it was a little after 7:30 in the morning. And I was getting home at almost 10 o'clock. So I think I was justified to not go to work until 11 today and to leave at 3:30. So, but I'm glad that all of you are on with me. But hey, I was so like ready to create this morning. I had nothing done until this morning, and I got both cards done, and I got the box. So it's going to be a good night. Um, let's see. And my husband's family genealogy shows that last name for a great grandpa. Oh, there we go. All right. You're talking to each other. I didn't need to be part of that. I'm sorry about that. Anyhow, last week we started our new creative challenge for this month, and this was the card that we did. It's got a lot of different openings, and a couple of you have your cards posted already. And if you are on Facebook, and you go to my Facebook page, Create with Sarah LLC, I think it's maybe it's just Create with Sarah. But you will find in the featured section of Facebook, you will see the post where you have to post that picture. Several people have put it. If you are not on Facebook, I do have my email that I can put up here for you. And you could just go ahead and email me a copy of the picture, take a picture of the card, and that way you can get entered. And the person at the end of the month, and I'm picking this, what did I say? The day before Thanksgiving. I'm going on that Wednesday. That'll be the last Wednesday I think that's the last Wednesday of the month. That is correct. And so I'm not going to go on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm going to do it on Wednesday instead of Thursday. I will put all those names into a drawing, and whoever gets picked will get $30 in Stampin' Rewards from me, and I will just send that to you. I'll email it over to your Stampin' Up account, and you should be able to. I should probably show you. Let me see. Do I have Stampin' Up? I do. Let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. Let's see. Can I do that from here? Yep. Share my screen. We'll do the Stampin' Up page. I'll do share, and I'll go to that page. So right up here, and I want to see if it looks the same. There's like a little gift up here. If you're a demonstrator, if you click on this, those are your Stampin' Rewards. And if you hit the view details, it'll show you what you rewarded. And you can see here, I sent a gift to Ella. I sent a gift to Donna Deppner. These were people that had won things or had earned things from me. Let me look here as a customer view here. Yep, see you'll have the little gift here too, and you should be able to look at the details. That's where you see your Stampin' Rewards. And if you, let's say we place something, let's go ahead and do Whisper White, Basic White. I'll type that in, and let's just say we add some envelopes, and I add that to my cart. When I go to my cart at the end, I view my cart. Right down here, it tells me here's my balance for my rewards. And if I wanted to use $11 to pay for those, I would just enter $11 and hit apply, and then $11 would be taken off of there. So that's how you can use those Stampin' Rewards. So you can pretty much order anything that you want. So I'm going to go ahead, stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I'm back to you. So I thought I would just point that out to you in case you ever do earn Stampin' Rewards or you earn Stampin' Rewards from me. That's where you can find them and how you can go ahead and cash them in and order something on me. And then we also made this little box that we could use. It's a little see-through box with a window sheet in there that you could use for Thanksgiving. So that was last week. All right, I don't think I have anything else. Oh, I wanted to let you know that the Traditions of Christmas designer paper is back in. It was supposed to come in on the 17th of November, but I kept seeing things on people's Facebook posts today, and so I went and checked it out myself, and sure enough, it is back in stock. So I wanted to let you know about that. Also, Stampin' Up! Right now has been doing these new, they're called craft classes. And so the next one is Brushed with Beauty. And so you don't get any product with this, but you get to watch a live class that is done by the home office of Stampin' Up! And they do send you all of the supplies that you need, and they'll send you the dimensions for all of the projects that they do in this live class. And the next one is scheduled for November 20th at 2 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 3 o'clock our time. But if you do pay for it, you also get a link so you can watch it anytime you want. And you can watch it as many times as you want, really. So you can find this online. And I say this, if you're interested in the class, that's, that it's available. But I also want to let you know that if you've been watching me do some of my lives where I've been using this paper and I'm using it again tonight, I have a feeling because they did this class that it is probably going to sell. That paper is probably going to go really fast. That would be my guess. And a lot of like the big name demonstrators, I'm not a big name demonstrator, but some of those bigger name demonstrators, they've already, because we've been able to have this for a month, many of them have planned classes around it. And so people have signed up for their classes. And so they're probably ordering 100 packs of it if they sold 100 classes. And so I have a feeling that that paper is probably going to go fast. So if you like it, guess what I'm saying? If you really like it, I would order it sooner rather than later, or you might be waiting for it to come back into stock, is my guess. I don't know that for certain, but I just kind of have this feeling because it is beautiful paper. All right, I think we are ready to stamp. Let me go ahead and switch to here. Ooh, I am pretty straight, so that's good. I am going to start with this card right here, which I got this idea from Jackie Bolheis. This is a layout card. So my first card is going to be a layout card, and I'm going to use some of the new November online exclusives that just went live to customers on Tuesday. So you can order these now. But this is a very simple layout card that uses a little bit of designer paper, and then it has like a little feature or kind of like a centerpiece for the card in the center. And I think I have done this layout before. I couldn't find the card that I had done with the layout, but I just love the layout and it's super easy. So I thought I would start with that. So what I'm going to show besides that paper that I've already shown you, this is Valentine Kisses. I'll hold this up a little bit so you can see it's these cute little bears, and there's different things that you can put in this. So when this die cuts, I'll show you this. It cuts like a little slit here, and it cuts a little slit underneath his hands so that you can stick something in there. So we're going to stick flowers in tonight. You could stick this little jar. You could stick this little teddy bear. The dies have this cute little kissing booth that you could build, and then it just has the head of the bear that you could put on the top of that, like he's going to be waiting for a smooch. This does have it's called Valentine Kisses, but we're going to be using this Sending Lots of Love Your Way to celebrate this special day. So it could be used for a birthday, and that's kind of what I'm thinking for this one. And I loved the bear hugs and kisses, and it's got this little X and O in here that we're going to kind of use a bunch of that stuff together in this card, because I don't think this is just Valentine's Day. Maybe the kissing booth is with the dies and stuff, but this is a cute little banner. One of the swaps that I had used this little edging right here as little grass, and then she put her bear in that. I didn't do that in my card. I just have my bear on the front. But look at these cute little birdies that are in here as well. They're so cute. And the little hearts, and here are little kissing lips. Just a cute little angel wings for this little bear right here. So this is a cute little set, I thought. All right, let's go ahead. I have the dimensions there. Let's go ahead. Oh, and I'm also featuring this new embossing folder that's called Beautiful Pattern, and I love it. I was so sad to see like the distressed tile, I think was the one that just recently left, or there was something that would just recently left, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I use that all the time. What am I going to do? And then they came out with this one, and it is so cute. Kathy and I even used it on part of our shadow box, the little sampler that we made for our Christmas product class that's coming up next weekend. We even use this in some of that because it was just, it's so cute, neat background. All right, so the base of our card is just a standard A2 card. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I already scored it at 4 1/4, and this is early espresso. And then our centerpiece on this card has 3 different layers. So it's going to have the largest one for me. Whoops, I'm sorry, I'm getting too high up here. The largest one for my centerpiece is Calypso Coral, and this measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then the middle one, I'm going back to the early espresso, and that is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then my center, where I'm going to be putting my cute little bear, is 2 inches by 3.5. So I liked how she did this, where she didn't do all of them 1/4 of an inch. This one, she did a 1/2 of an inch bigger instead of just 1/4 of an inch bigger. And I liked how that the Calypso Coral just kind of popped on there because you saw more of it. Okay, I have an inside that's very vanilla. My neutral that I'm using for mine is very vanilla. So this is very vanilla, and that's going to go on the inside. Then we're going to use 2 different patterns from that DSP. And the 2 patterns that I used were this flower right here that has the crumb cake in the back, and then this kind of like a painted look that is in Calypso Coral. So you need 3 that are 1x4. So I should have another one in here of one of the patterns. And then you need 2 of the other pattern. And we're just going to kind of mix them like that. I do have a piece that I'm going to use for, this is going to be for my envelope. So we'll set that aside. We need a couple of scraps. This is a DSP piece that's a 1/2 inch by 4. That's going to be for my inside. I did take a Very Vanilla, and from our Stylish Shapes, I cut out like the medium-sized banner. And that's it for now. We'll go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp on the inside. I'm going to stamp on this little banner. Actually, I took white here, and this should be Very Vanilla. Let's see. Or is it white? I think it's Very Vanilla. It is Very Vanilla. I will find a piece of Very Vanilla. I've got to have one sitting around here somewhere. I'll get up and get that. So this is, my light is so bright that this almost even looks like white, but it really is Very Vanilla. So on the inside, I am going to stamp the greeting with Early Espresso ink. I'm going to stamp the hugs, Bear Hugs and Kisses on the inside. Okay, and then I thought I really want to bring that Calypso Coral color in. So I'm going to open up that, and I'm going to take that XOXO, and I'm going to ink that up in Calypso Coral, and I'm going to stamp that right underneath my greeting. It's kind of tiny. But since it says Hugs and Kisses, I thought that that was kind of cute to put that on there. On this scrap of crumb cake, I am going to ink up our bear in Early Espresso. Isn't he cute? Now, let's go look at these dies. So that's the stamps. Now that they're all in the same cases, I gotta make sure I grab the right one. So I did get some of those. Stamp and Storage now has new sizes of these magnet sheets that fit right inside of our new packaging. So here's our little bear. And if you can see, like right above, there's a raised edge, and there's a raised edge right there. That means that that's cutting it there when it's raised like that. So that's going to cut a little slit above and below. And through the magic of TV, I do have that die cut for us already. So you can see there's like a little opening. Can you see that little opening right there? And there's a little opening down there that you can stick things in. All right, so I have that cut out. Since I don't have my Very Vanilla here, I'm just going to show you that through the magic of TV. Hi, Sherry. I do have that little flower. It's, let's see, where is it? I don't even have it on a stamp in there. I must have it sitting out here from where I stamped it. But it's a little package of flowers that we're going to put right inside. Look at how this sticks in here. We're going to color it first, but I'll show you how easy it is to just stick that right in there, and he's holding on to the flowers. So cute. All right, we are also going to stamp that birthday or that special day greeting on this banner, and hopefully I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to probably stand up to do that so that I can look over the top of my camera and see if I can get this straight and on there. Oh, pretty good. Sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. And that's it for our stamping. Sorry, you're looking at, I'll come back down and sit in my chair so that you don't have to look at another part of my body that you don't really probably want to be looking at. All right, so let's go ahead and put this simple card together. Let's take this guy out. I'm going to start by coloring that in. So since I moved my office around, I now have my ink pads right here and I have my blends right in front of me. So I don't even really have to pack them all in. I can just like, oh, I'm done with the Calypso Coral. Let's put it away. I'm done with the early espresso. Let's put it away. So much nicer. All right, so I'm going to do a Calypso Coral and I'm going to do the lighter shade of the Calypso Coral and I'm going to do all the petals of my flowers. So there's 3 flowers in this little thing. And I'm going to do all of those in this lighter shade of Calypso Coral. Okay, and then put that back. See, Mom, I moved things around to make myself look a little bit cleaner here. I'm going to take a dark, this is a dark Daffodil Delight. Yeah, dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to color in the centers with that. And I'm going to take a light Old Olive and do the little leaf that's there. I felt like Mossy Meadow was just going to be, that's the color that's kind of in the paper. Let me hold this up so you can actually see because it's so tiny. There we go. It's kind of out of focus a little bit because I'm a little too close, but I'm just coloring that in. And then I'm going to take a light crumb cake since we've got crumb cake, and I'm going to make this look like it's just some craft paper. Whoops, I think I want the other end. Like it's just wrapped in some craft paper, nothing real fancy. Most of it doesn't get seen anyway because it's tucked in the little bear's hands. So there is our little thing. And I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and just add a little bit to, ooh, this is a juicy Wink of Stella. It's leaving me lots and lots of glitter. I love that. Hello, Sue. It's okay that you're late. We just actually kind of turn things around to stamp. So you're right on time. Okay, I'm going to set this over here to let that Wink of Stella dry a little bit. Because it is juicy, juicy. All right, so our bear hugs, this is our inside. I'm going to add, oh, I don't think I have looking to see if I had a silicone mat over here, but I don't think I do have one handy. So we're just gonna, hopefully I won't get it on too much of my table here. Just going to set that across there and we'll give this a good burnish with our bone folder and pop that right inside. Just like that. Okay, then the front, some of these have more flowers on than others. And so see how many flowers that has? I think I'm going to put that one towards the top so that you can see all those flowers. This one has a lot of flowers kind of down on the bottom. So I think I'm going to put that down on the bottom. This I'm going to flip this way because I'm going to take this and I'm going to have it a little bit further over to the right-hand side. So I want more of the flowers on the left-hand side. And then in between them, I'm going to put that Calypso Coral. Oh, look at that. Slide this up a little bit. So I kind of dry fit it in there. Doesn't that look like a cool background? I like to start by putting the top and the bottom down first. So I'm going to go ahead and I think it goes that way. Put that one down. Put the next one down. The bottom one. And then I like to fill in from there. So I try to make it so that these 3 sides have about an even edge around them so that I know I'm going to be matching things up. So next is going to be our 2 Calypso Coral pieces. Okay, and I'm leaving just a little bit of space in between there. Same thing down here. Leave a little bit of space between them. And then this last one, we'll just center so that I have about the same amount of space on the top and the bottom. So for this one, I probably could have moved these pieces down just a little bit, but it looks pretty good, I think. Nobody's measuring it, right? So there we go with that. Next, I'm going to layer these pieces. So I'm going to put the Very Vanilla that I ran through that embossing. Oh, you know what? My light is so bright, you can't even see that, can you? Here, I got to fold it like that. Can you see it there? Now you can see it. But my light, I tried to get brighter lights because last time I didn't have, my lights weren't very bright. So I did put some brighter lights on, but it's kind of washing things out now. It's kind of a balance, like a balancing act that you have to do. Thanks, Kathy. All right, it looks like I'm almost out of this seal. I'm going to have to get some more, or I've got some liquid glue over here that I can use as well. Okay, and then this I'm going to put on dimensionals, and I'm just going to, I don't want to center it. I want it to go over to the right just a little bit. It kind of just adds, that's what Jackie did with hers. And I'm like, it just makes it look like you're not trying to center it. It looks like you're trying to put it off to the side, where if you try to center it and then it's not centered, you're like, oh man, it's way off centered. So don't even try to center it and just move it off to the right or to the left. And then it's perfect every time, right? Pulling these off. I'm not good with my take your pick tool for removing these things. I like almost take the whole dimensional off with it. Not too coordinated with that. So now I'm just centering top and bottom to have about the same amount on either side, but I'm keeping it more to the right-hand side than I am trying to go center. Right, then this little thing is going to stick right inside of his hands and come out the bottom here a little bit. And I'm going to flip it over, and to make sure that those flowers stay in there, I'm going to put a dimensional right over the top of that. Now you could have it so that they could pull the flowers out. I don't know that you would need to do that. Oh, thanks, Donna. Yeah, the embossing looks okay when I hold it in a certain way, but just looking straight on, like I have to hold it like that. So you can see the embossing. I don't think you can see it the other way because it's too bright. All right, I'm going to set him down there because this is going to go up here. Isn't he cute? I think he's so adorable. All right, then this kind of got lost. So we have our, where did I put it? We have our linen thread that is in Early Espresso. I had it in the little container here. Must have taken it out with something. Well, where did I set it? It has to be here. It was just here. Unless it fell on the floor. I don't see it on the floor. Let me grab another one. I have another one, so I'll just grab a different one. Goodness, I know it's here somewhere. I just used it this morning and I know it was in the container. When I went to check to make sure I had everything in there, it was in there then. So we'll just start another one. I'll go through it. I love this stuff. Okay, so got this. Let's just cut a little bit off. Right, and I'm going to make a kind of a bigger bow. Okay, that kind of looks like that. And then what I do is I hold it up behind my greeting and I look and I say, well, this side's just a little bit too big. I want that a little bit smaller. Till I get the loops where I want them. I can always cut off the tails, but I want the loops the size that I want them. So I think that looks good like that. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. And I just have, you can either use some tear and tape or I have some Scotch tape handy. So I'm just going to pull off a little piece of Scotch tape and put that right where I want it. Okay. And then I will trim off these tails a little bit. We'll throw those over there. And then let's put some dimensionals on here. Let me get my smaller dimensionals. I don't want to go all the way to the edge because it'll hang off a little bit. But I don't want to go right on top of the linen thread either, or it gets kind of uneven. Here I am a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. And we'll just pop that up. Okay, and it goes up to almost the edges there. Look, isn't he cute, that little bear? Oh my gosh, I think he's so adorable. All right, and then if we wanted to add some bling, I know that we've got the ribbon already here and stuff, and I could put this, I think I put my greeting up a little bit more. Let's see if I can still get this off and put it up just a tad bit more. There we go. Just a little bit. I didn't move it that much, but just a tad bit. All right. We have, with that set, we've got the Pearls of Beauty, which has the Calypso Coral that we could put a couple of those on here. And they do have a little bit of a shimmer to them. Or we have these early matte dots that have the early espresso. So you let me know, do you want the early espresso? You can do EE or you can do CC for Calypso Coral. So if you think we should use the Calypso Coral dots, do CC in the comments. If you think we should use these little early espresso ones, do EE. And I'm going to decorate the envelope while you guys are voting. So CC for Calypso Coral and EE for early espresso. You let me know what you think you would like to see on there for the gems. Oops, I'm going to put a little bit up to the edge here. Otherwise it doesn't, it sometimes pulls away. Look at that. Got a lot of CCs, almost all CCs. And I will use CC then. And I can show you early espresso because when I made this morning, I did early espresso. So you can see, and then when you see it all done, you can decide which one do you like better. All right, looks like almost everybody. Gian voted twice. Yeah, I think I saw a C. What did I see? A C something, CE? No, we've got a highway that's called CE. What was it? Where did I see that? I saw somebody had something different. Let's see. CP, Cerebral Palsy Telethon. No, we always have that here in Wisconsin. All right, let's go ahead and just trim this off. Look at that back side of that. That's pretty too. I haven't made anything with that back side yet. I'll have to use that in a card coming up. Okay, so there's our envelope. We said we were going to go with Calypso Coral. So that's our Pearls of Beauty. And anyone who had placed over a $50 order that wasn't part of like my card buffet, if you have to place an order to be in the card buffet, if that's what you chose, then that's your order. But anyone that placed either an additional order or didn't go to the card buffet, but you placed an order, you will be getting a pack of these in the mail as soon as I get them. I just ordered them on Tuesday when I could order more of them. I'm just going to put a couple of them down in one corner and one up the other corner. There is our cute little bear. Isn't he cute? I just love him. And when I saw this, so if any of you are familiar with Jackie Bullheist, she does a, I don't know if she does it anymore. I haven't seen one in a while, but she and her husband did all different layouts. And he would cut the cardstock and he'd put them together and like a sample for her. And this was episode 4 and it was card 4. So that's pretty easy to remember. episode 4 and card 4 if you wanted to see some of her other samples that she had. But here are those dimensions. And then there is the card, so that if you wanted to take a screenshot of that, you have the picture of the card along with the dimensions that it takes for that. So I just think this bear set is going to be really cute for Valentine's Day. I mean, I just couldn't do a Valentine's Day card when we haven't even had Thanksgiving, right? Oh, talk about being way, way ahead of the time, right? Are they low profile? They are very low profile, Mary. They're not completely flat. They have a little bit of height to them, but they're lower than when I put the little bear on dimensionals, if that makes sense. So they sit lower than this bear does on dimensionals. So if that helps you. So they are pretty low profile. The matte dots, here's the one with the early espresso. For those of you that said you liked the early espresso, there's the early espresso little matte dots. And those are probably about the same height as the bear. They might be just a little bit taller than the Calypso Coral one, but not much. So there is our card number 1, which is just a fun layout with a brand new stamp set in our new way of packaging our stamp set. Think of how much room you're going to save by having your stamps come like this instead of that big DVD case. Although I used to like putting them this way, like I put books on a shelf and I could see the spine, but I'm going to get some containers where they go like this and I'm just going to alphabetize them. And I saw some people have been alphabetizing them kind of by like, I have all my flowers in here. I have animals in here. I have greetings in here. And then they have little buckets for all of them. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Right now, I just alphabetize in my cupboard that I have when they're in the little containers like this. I just have everything alphabetized and I can see the spine. I don't sort them by occasion or anything. All right, so there's our card number 1. Easy card, right? Cute card, I think, even though I made it. I do say so myself. The second one is a fun fold card, and this is going to be a Christmas card. And Kathy Miller and I last year, I think it was last year, it might have been 2 years ago, when we did our Christmas product share class, we did this fun fold. And I saw it, I don't even remember who I saw it from again. And I was like, oh, I remember when we did that. That was so fun. I loved that card. So I don't know if it has a particular name. I just call it kind of a flip up card because it's a normal card with an extra flip, if that makes sense. Hopefully it'll make sense when you see it. So what I'm using for this card is I'm using our Christmas Tags and More. This is a 6x6 paper. It doesn't look like anything's on there, but there really is. I won this when I was at Disney for the incentive trip, which, by the way, less than 1% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators earn it because it takes a lot of work to earn it. I better say that so I don't want to get in trouble. I kind of forgot that I had this, and it's been on back order. It's coming back in on Monday. But I'm out of one of the patterns because I did a swap card, but you could cut this and put it on a card, or you could put it on a scrapbook. I've seen this put on a card just like on an edge. And then you've got this pretty green, and this you could cut and put on the edge of a card. This you could put somewhere. And then let's see, we're going to be using this piece right here, this gingham, which I thought was cute, but look at all these little things that you could cut out and either use them in tags or you could put them on a card. It doesn't matter. And then it had one more pattern that had a plaid that had the red and the garden green in and white. And I was out of that because I did it for a swap right after I came back from Disney. And I never ordered another pack because I kind of forgot about it. I put it in a place that I don't have most of my paper. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, I need to do something different because I feel like I've done the traditions of Christmas. I've done all of the different Christmas papers, the Peace on Earth one. I've done all of those. I feel like I needed to do something different, and I hadn't used this yet for a live. So it also comes with these pieces that you can punch out. There's 2 cards of each one. You can see I've used some of them already. We're using some of them in our card. What I like to do with these is I like to punch them out and put them in one of our clear envelopes, or you could just put them in an envelope so that they don't end up all over the floor when I open this up. Because some of them, like, see, this one fell out. I think it goes over here actually. So sometimes when you're holding them, some of the pieces aren't attached as well. But there's like a Christmas tree, and then there's little gifts you could put under it. There's a bow you could put on it. There's a bell. We're going to use a little cardinal along with a little wreath. There's this poinsettia. There's a lot of different cool things that you can use. So you get 2 sheets in each pack that you could do. These are perfect for making tags, I think. I wouldn't make a whole bunch of these cards that I'm making. Have you done the Memories and More cards? I have not. But this is, I mean, I love this paper, and I think it would be so cute with a lot of different tags and stuff. But I'm using it for my card tonight, and I'm using actually some of these. And then the only stamping I'm going to do is actually my greetings. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for right now. Let's see. Here's our dimensions for a little flip card. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Garden Green as our card base. Okay, so that measures, again, it's just a normal card, 8.5, 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. So it's starting normal. Then my flip piece is 3 1/4 by 5.5, and I scored it at 1/2 inch. Okay, that's going to be my little flip up piece. Then on the inside, I need a neutral piece. So I'm doing white because there was white in my gingham, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to be on the inside. And then for the front layers. So when I say front, let me just show you. Let me attach this piece, because then I think it'll make more sense when you see my directions. I'm actually going to use a little tear and tape. And we'll put it on this little tab. All right, we'll pull that off. And what I want to do is I want to line this edge up with the edge of the top of the card, and then I want to center it left to right. Now this is tear and tape, so once it's down, it's down. So I kind of want to just kind of hover it over the top, not lay it down yet. Check to see if it looks like it's straight. And when it looks like it's straight, I'm going to go ahead and push it down. Okay, so this is going to go like that. Now, do you see how this buckles a little bit? That's going to happen. What you need to do is you just need to set it down, and you just take your bone folder and you just smooth everything out with your bone folder. And there is our card. Okay, so I'm calling this, and look at, I didn't center it very well, but that's okay. It's going to be fine like that. It's just a little bit off to the left. This I'm going to call on all of my directions. This is going to be my flip. This is going to be my front, and this is going to be my inside. So inside, front, flip. Okay. All right. So this is our flip piece. We put that on. We did the neutral inside. So on the front, so this is my front right here. I'm going to open up my flip, and I'm going to have my front. I have a piece of DSP that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to put a matte layer and a neutral layer. So I decided to use Cherry Cobbler because I didn't have any of the red layer that I wanted to use. What's that? Have you ever okay. All right. Because I didn't have any of the red, and I wanted to bring red in because of the cutouts that I decided to use, I decided to go with Cherry Cobbler. And now this isn't going to be centered because I want it to be covered by that. So it's going to be off to the left a little bit because my flip is a little bit off to the left. But it's really nice with this gingham because I can kind of match it up with where the gingham lines are on there. And then this is going to go over the top, but I'm going to stamp on here first. I'm just kind of showing you where all of these pieces are. Okay. Then my flip layer. So here's my flip layer. So that's going to have to go up a little bit so I don't see it. My flip layer, this is coming from our Traditions of Christmas. Okay. And this is 3 inches by 4 7/8 because I want it to go all the way up to the very top of this. Okay. And in order for it to go all the way up to the very top of this and to have our borders the same, I needed to make it 4 7/8. Okay. So that's why that's there. And then I have a little 1/2 piece by 4 inch for the inside as well. The rest of what we're going to be putting out here is all going to be from things that I cut out. So this is going to be for my envelope. Set that way up there. And what I cut out, oh, look at here. I have, and it looks like I need my pokey end of my take your pick tool to get one of those little things out. Okay, I really liked this. And then look at this wreath. Pretty, right? And then I thought, I love the cardinal. Let's put the cardinal right there on the center and we'll raise him up because that'll look cool. And then I'm like, it just needed something else. So I found these little spriggy things. So there's this one and there's that one. And I'm like, I could kind of put that behind there so it just sticks up a little bit. I could kind of stick this one. I didn't like how it looked like that because it was overlapping. So I kind of stuck that one underneath the wreath. Look at how that's looking. And then I put it down and I'm like, yes, I really like that. And I'll just put my greeting down here. I couldn't decide what to do for a greeting. And then I'm like, you know what I haven't used in a while because again, it came out this summer with online exclusives, but we have this Holly Jolly bundle. It's a hybrid, and I didn't use the embossing folder, but it's got this cutout of the word joy, and then it has words that kind of go with it, and all of them have kind of the same font. So I could do something. I could put the joy on the outside. I'd have something for that inside or the outside layer. I'd have some joy for the flip. I'd have this for the outside, and then I could use some of these for the inside. So that's what I ended up doing. All right. So let's start. Since we don't have a lot of stamping to do, I'm going to start with my stamping. So I've got to stamp this, and I have to stamp my inside layer. So my outside and my inside. And I'm going to use Garden Green. Let's use Garden Green. All right, so I've got my Garden Green. So for this outside one, I'm going to use the May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. I liked that. So let's go ahead and ink up our greeting. Let me just test it here to make sure it's straight. It looks like it's pretty straight. Let's get my mat here to stamp on. I probably should change this soon. It's getting kind of dirty. And I'm going to put it up a little bit because if you noticed, I had one more piece of greenery that I didn't use. And I thought I can just tie that greenery in by kind of putting that down in the corner. Okay, so there's my outside. And then my inside, I don't know if this looks like it's washed, but I just want to make sure it's washed. It looks like it looked like it had cherry cobbler on it, and I didn't use cherry cobbler. I used Garden Green, but it kind of looked like, or did I use cherry cobbler? Let me look. No, I used Garden Green. Okay, I'm going to do Merry Christmas on the inside. So I'm going to stamp the Merry. Oh, beautiful. And then we will stamp the Christmas underneath it. Oh, look at wonderful. Love it. Now, if I wanted to, I could pick something out of my little pack and I could put that on the inside as well. I just brought the little piece of designer paper in there and just left that the way it was. All right, we are ready to put this card together. All right, let's put that little strip along the bottom. Take the cover off, Sarah. It works better. And we'll put that along the bottom. Oh, Karen. So I put that along the bottom, and I'm just catching up on comments. Sorry, that's why I was just so, did I miss any comments? All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover up that little flap that we have there by putting our inside piece down. And if you wanted to, you could take some designer paper. Like if you wanted this reddish color to kind of be carried in, you could put, this would have to be like 1/8 of an inch smaller. Because remember, I made this one 1/8 of an inch because I went right up to the top. But you could put that in there and have it on that layer and on that layer if you wanted to. I opted just to do one. Okay, so now let's do our outside. Again, remember that was the inside, this is the outside, and then we've got our flip, or flap, or whatever you want to call it. It flips, so I called it a flip. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then we're going to layer this onto our cherry cobbler. Like that. Okay, and then I want this to be in between there. So I'm kind of watching my gingham to see if I can get it in between there. I do want to close it and make sure that where I have it, ooh, look at that. I can kind of see it a little bit. So I'm going to scooch it up just a tad. So I'm kind of looking, I want it to be about where this gingham stripe goes across. So I'll put this on. And there's that stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there and center it. Go up a little bit just to be safe. Yep, it's covered. Awesome. All right, I'm going to add this little piece down to the corner there. Okay, so that's my inside. Now that even is covered up. See how that even covered that up? And then this piece I want to go all the way up to where that crease is. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it's so hard to put adhesive on this beautiful paper on the back. But I'm going to bring this towards me so that I can get it right up to the edge. I'm going to try to make that straight, or like an even amount on either side. I didn't do so well when I put my flap on. We'll see if I can do better with the DSP. There we go. Oh, I just love this. Okay, then we're going to put this down just flat. Just like that. And I've got my Joy, which I ended up putting an adhesive sheet on, so I can just peel that off. And I can set that right down here. I loved just bringing in that little bit of gold. And we'll bring a little bit more gold in with our embellishments. All right, then I liked how this went just flat. So I just I'm going to eyeball everything a little bit and see if I put that there. I think I want it to come out just a little bit. Okay, so I like that, how it is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take a glue dot and I take your pick tool. Oh, thanks, Melanie. Thanks, Julie. Yeah, I love that Joy font. I think it's so pretty. I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm going to kind of lift this up so it's right where I wanted it to be. Stick that underneath there, and that'll just hold that in place. Okay, I want to put this on dimensionals. I think that would look good. I know because I played around with it this morning and it looked really good on dimensionals. So I'm going to repeat it. All right. So we'll go ahead, put that in the center there. Oh, so pretty. And then this I'm going to put kind of in the center there, kind of coming up a little bit. And then our cardinal will just kind of sit right there. So let's go ahead and just throw a little bit of adhesive. You could use glue dots if you wanted to as well. I just kind of went to the center of my wreath. Okay, just to have a little bit of whimsical stuff. Hello, Sarah Mitchell. Thanks for joining us. All right, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on my cardinal. I can't believe that I forgot that I had this paper. I was kind of going through and I'm like, I feel like I keep using the same stuff. They want to see different things. They don't want to see the same stuff all the time. So I was like, what haven't I used? And then I came across this and I'm like, I haven't used that. Oh, look at that little cardinal on there with our joy. All right, what I'm going to do is I had a piece. It was in my envelope, I thought. I had one little piece. Oh, here it is. I love this ribbon. This is on back order until like February 17th. I'm like, what? Valentine's Day cards and all of that kind of stuff. I love this striped gold ribbon. Luckily, I think I have 2 rolls of it, but I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. I thought this just could use a little bit of a bow right there. So I'm just going to, this was all I had left on one spool of it. And I'm like, oh, that'll be perfect for a bow. So that's why it's not on the spool over here, because it was all I had left on the spool. All right, I just keep pulling these a little bit smaller and then pull them tight till I get to the size I want. This one I could pull a little smaller, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, where did I put my scissors? So here it is. We'll go ahead and cut that and that, and I'm just gonna put that like kind of right in that little corner, right there with a glue dot. Here's my glue dots. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Jan. Yeah, it's kind of a fun fold, but it really doesn't take that long because I don't have to stamp and cut all that stuff out. I just punched it out, right? Okay, and then I'm like, okay, we got a little bit of the gold in here. We've got a gold here. How about if we use some gold gems? So I love these flower accents, they're called. And just going to take those out. And I think because I got the ribbon here and we've got the joy down here, I think I'm just going to put a little bit of gold up here. So I think I'm going to take one of each size and just put one there. Whoops. And these are really flat too. There we go. You could also put a couple of little ones in the wreath otherwise if you wanted to. But there is our flip open card. All right, so it's just a little bit different fold, a fun fold. And let's do our envelope. I think Kathy designed that card that we did. It was either last year or it was 2 years ago we did this fold. And I loved it when we did it. And I was like, oh, that'll be a fun fold. Now, would I make all of my Christmas cards with this? Well, first of all, I'd have to have so many packs of paper to have all of that center stuff. But you could do this. I'm thinking this would be really pretty with the modern Christmas with that black and gold and white. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. And you could actually, if you wanted to, they've got that paper that has the trees on. You could just take a punch and you could punch out like here, let me bring it in here and show you what I mean. Oh gosh, trying to explain things sometimes. It's so hard, right? So instead of having to stamp a tree and cut it out, what if you just took a punch and you punched that out, and then you punched this out, and you punched that out, and you put that in the center? That would be really, really cool, right? You could do that, and then you could put some, gold ribbon maybe with it, or do something. I don't know. I'm just thinking like that could be a really pretty card too. That could be really easy to make, even though it's a fun fold. I wouldn't make 50 or 100 of these to send out probably, and it is a little bit. Ooh, how did I get glue? Oh, guys, did you see me put my card right inside the glue that I put on the flap there? Ugh. I'll have to clean that off. Because that has that extra flap, likely going to cost you a little bit more for postage. But if you wanted to like add a card to a gift, and you're not going to be putting it through the mail, that would be absolutely perfect. Be just a really pretty card. I was kind of thinking with the cardinal, to somebody who lost a loved one over the last year, and this is their first Christmas without that loved one because of that whole thing. When you see a cardinal, it's like a message. It's like your loved one is paying you a visit. How wonderful would that be with Christmas to have that? And you could write that in the message that you wrote on the inside if you wanted to, like had to make this card for you because I know that you're missing your loved one, but just know they're near, however, whatever you wanted to say on the inside. But I thought that the little cardinal was perfect for that type of card. All right. I can't believe I laid that right in the liquid glue that I had put on my envelope. Don't stop. Don't start talking and stop doing what you're doing, Sarah. That stuff happens. All right. So let's go ahead. I'll put this here. And I don't know how to do this so you can best take your screenshot, but there is okay, so again, when it says flip piece, this is the flip piece. When it says flip layer, that's the DSP that's on the flip layer. And then if we open it, this is the outside, okay, or I called it the front layer. So we've got the DSP, and then I've got my mat, and I've got my center, and then my inside is this part right here. Okay, so that's the inside, this is the front, and then this is the flip. All right, so hopefully you had a chance to take a picture of that or get a couple of screenshots if you wanted to see how it opens and such. All right, so that's card 2. And I kind of hinted at, as I was looking for cards, I saw this really, really cool gift box type holder thing that I thought was awesome. And so I decided that I was going to give you a little bonus tonight. So there's our card number 2. I'll set it aside and I'll bring everything back in at the end for you. So let me get this paper out of here. All right, next, I'm going to reference who I got this from because I used the exact same stamp set that she did. I used different paper and different ribbon and such, but I did use the same stamp set she did, and I got the dimensions and stuff for her. So this comes from Cheryl Dorsey, and her YouTube channel is Cheryl's Stampin' Squad. And so she did this box with festive friends, and I think these guys are so cute. I've used the Santa Claus already for a gift card holder and a couple of other things. I haven't even punched out the elf yet, but today we're going to use the snowman, and I thought he was really, really cute. But the way she made this box is she made like a little box, and then she used the everyday arches. So when I do my everyday arches and I try to describe which one you're supposed to use, I start on the inside and I count my way out. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So we're using number 6 and we're using number 7. Okay, so this is 6, the smaller one, and then this is number 7. So we're using both of these for this box. Plus we're making, well, that's going to be the outside of the box, I should say. All right, so I stamped and die cut stuff already to make this go a little bit faster. And I heat embossed something as well because I thought it would just make it a little bit faster. So I used the, Warmest Winter Wishes that comes from our Delicate Pine stamp set because I'm going to be using paper. Look at this paper. Ooh, pretty. All the snowflakes, which went perfectly with the snowman, right? So this is from our Elegant Pines DSP, which is Kathy's on here. This is the paper that, or the bundle and paper and stuff that we used for our Christmas product class that's coming up next weekend. So this one I cut from, this is number 6. I started with a piece of paper that was approximately 3 by 4 to cut that one out. Okay, then I used shaded spruce because that's what color is really in here. It's just like a bunch of different shades of shaded spruce. So I cut 2 of these out of number 7. And each piece started at approximately 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 in order to get them cut out. So that is what I used. I'm going to put these back because otherwise I'm going to lose them and then I'm going to have to buy another set, which wouldn't be the worst thing because I use these all the time. And if I had another set, sometimes when I use them for classes, it would go a lot faster. All right. I also stamped the little snowman. We're going to color him in, and I cut him out because I wanted to have, like I said, some of this stuff done. All right. The inside box that we're going to use, it starts with just a piece of paper that's 2 1/2 by 7 1/2. And we've got to do some scoring. And I wanted to do the scoring with you so you could see what I meant by my directions. So I don't have this scored yet. Bring my trimmer in here. Okay, so we're going to start on the 7 1/2 inch side. So that means I need the 7 1/2. The longer piece is going to be up along the top. And I need to score when it's up along the top. I need to score at 2 1/2 and at 5 inches. So I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way. And I'm going to score at 2 1/2 and at 5. Or you could just do 2 1/2 from each end. It's basically the same thing. This is 2 1/2 and that's 2 1/2. Should be. Right? 7 1/2. Let me just make sure I did this right, that this is 7 1/2. I don't want to mess that up. 7 1/2. Yep. So that's 2 1/2 and that's 2 1/2. All right, perfect. All right, then on the 2 1/2 inch side, when that's up on top, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So I like to do my 1/2 inch on this side. So there's a 1/2 inch. And then at 2 inches, or that's really a 1/2 inch over here as well. Oh, Gian's making the exact same box. Did you find it online with Cheryl? I thought it was so cute. She used different papers. She used Old Olive and Real Red, I think, for it. Oh, I need this back in because we've got one more because I'm talking. Okay, then it says at 1 1/4 inches, score it to the first score line. So I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to put it at 1 1/4 inch and I'm going to score it from the top down to that first score line. Okay, so I went down, whoops, did I go? No, I went a little bit past. That's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go to 1 1/4 and score. It's really hard for me to see that score line where I'm sitting. So I didn't go all the way down yet that time. I was so afraid of going too far. There we go. I think I'm down there now. All right, that's it. Okay, we are going to take our bone folder and I am going to burnish That's going to go in. And that's going to go in. Oh, she's using Take a Bow. I loved that paper. Okay, I'm going to fold on that score line. And I'm going to fold on this score line. Okay. So see how I put all those in? I put that in. Then this one, instead of going the same way, we're going to actually, instead of folding it in, we're actually going to kind of fold it out. And we're not going to fold it and burnish it. I'm basically just going to take my finger and kind of pinch it in there a little bit down to there. It's just basically going to help me a little bit with here, let me show you what it's going to look like. See how it just kind of pinches here a little bit? It kind of goes in so that when I pull these two together to tie them, I don't crush the box. So that's what that's for. So that I don't, when I glue these together, I don't crush the box. Isn't that cute? So see, you got a little sneak peek. All right. So what I need to do is I need to take my scissors and I need to snip up in this middle section up to that score line. Like that. Now, when Cheryl made it on her video, she put some little liquid glue right here, and you had to be very careful not to put too much and all this kind of stuff. I don't trust myself with just putting a little bit of liquid glue. So when I made mine, I ended up taking glue dots and I put a glue dot right there. I did a better job of keeping it together when I did my finger instead of my take your pick. Okay. I'm just putting a glue dot in each of those sections. I'll take my pick. Actually, I think I did my scissors when I did it the first time. That one's better. It stayed as a circle. And then we got one more. It's going to go right there. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this up. We're going to push this over and we're going to square these up. So that has to be squared up with that. And this is going to be squared up with that, and just press that glue dot. That way you don't have to wait for the liquid glue to dry. Pull this up. And that's going to go right there. And I'm going to put tear and tape over the top of this so it's not going to come apart. I'm telling you, it will not come apart. Okay. So that is going to be like our little box that we can set something in on the inside. Now, you could I have them in the other room, Ghirardelli squares. You could put some nuts or something in, or something that you had that's homemade, in like a little plastic bag and put it in here and have it. Then you wouldn't, like I tied mine on the top. If you had little plastic bag that's coming out, I would put your bow on your plastic bag. And that's what Cheryl did when she did her sample. But isn't that cute? Oh, goodness gracious. All right, let's go ahead. Let's color our little, I'm doing this kind of in a weird order, so I apologize for that. Let's color our little snowman. I'm going to take the shaded spruce. I'm going to take the lighter shade of it, and I'm going to color the stripes of his hat. We got 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to color his scarf that. Since most of the color on here is in shaded spruce, the green, I thought we'll do most of his stuff in shaded spruce. Now I could have come in and just done the darker shade, but I liked how I wanted to bring just a little bit of red in as well. So I'm going to use our dark red, and I'm going to do the other 2 stripes in the red. See how I don't have to have all of my blends sitting in on my table, because it's right in front of me now. I love how I changed this around. It's been so handy. And then I'm going to use a little pumpkin pie, the dark one, for his little nose. And then I like to, and she didn't do this, but I really like to take like a really light pool party. And I like to just kind of go around the parts that are supposed to be white, and just it kind of almost makes like a little shadow, I guess. I was how I would kind of describe it. And I'm just kind of going around kind of on the inside of him. And I'm also doing that with the snow. You can hardly see it. You don't see much at all, but it just, and I don't think you can see it at all with my bright lights. But when you're in person, it just adds a little bit of almost like dimension. And I'm going to take my juicy Wink of Stella, and I am going to color in the top of his hat, that little brim of his hat, or the little fuzzy part, and like the little little thing at the end. And I think that's it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that glitter. Probably not, because you can't see anything else because it's so bright, but it really is glittery, glittery. All right, and then we've got our warmest wishes. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put together the front of this. So I need one of these shaded spruce, and I need my DSP that I cut. That was just one smaller. And I'm going to layer that on there. And then I'm going to pop him up on some dimensionals because he's so cute. There we go. Take those off. And we'll pop him up there. Oh, I love him. He's so darn cute. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of our mini dimensionals. For our greeting. That's just going to go right across the bottom here. All right. And then before I put it on there, I am going to take, sure I am. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right over here where I had all the stuff sitting. I'm going to take, this is our punch trio. This is like a 1/8 of an inch circle punch. And I'm going to punch a hole for me to put the ribbon through. And I'm kind of just eyeballing where the center is. All right. And the reason I want to do it there is I'm going to line these up. So I want the two insides together. I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to try to line that circle up in there again and punch that so that those line up before I put them on my little box. Okay, so now they're in the same, pretty much in the same spot. Whoops, I'm sorry, I keep going up too high. All right, let's go ahead, and this doesn't have to look perfect because it gets hidden. I'm going to take some of our tear and tape, and I'm going to put some across the bottom here. That's why I said I just use that glue dot to hold it in place, because I'm going to be putting tear and tape right over the top of it. So that really is going to hold it in place better than the glue dot is. The glue dot is basically just to hold it until I put this back over the top of it. There. And we'll put it here. I'd never seen an opening like this, but it makes sense to do it that way because this is going to be the side of your box anyway, your little arch thing is. So I'm going to take these off. I don't want to crush the box. You want to just be careful that you don't press too hard on anything. All right, and then I'm going to flip this upside down, and I'm going to try to get it as close to center as I can, and then this bottom edge is going to go along the edge of my arches. And once I have it set in place, I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press all of that down. Okay, so there's that side. Look at that, it stands up. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm going to go ahead and use my tear and tape. I have to, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put that there. All right, and I got one more piece to put on here. And you'll have to go check out Cheryl Stampin' Squad on YouTube and look at her. It's not a live video, it's under her videos. And she does one with the Santa Claus. And I'm trying to think which paper she uses. I think this paper that we used in our card, she used for the Santa Claus or the elf. And then I don't even think she used designer paper for her snowman. I think she used just regular cardstock, and she embossed it with like a snow embossing folder, I think is what it was, if I remember correctly. So I did change it up. I put a different greeting. I embossed my greeting, but I definitely got the idea from her, and I don't want to claim something as my own when it was not my own. All right, so now again, I'm going to try to line this up and go along the bottom. And you can kind of look at the top too to see if you're lining yourself up with the top one. Set it down and then take your bone folder again and press that tape down. Okay, so then the ribbon that comes with this paper is really thick and it has gold in it, and I don't have any gold on here. So I went and looked at my other ribbons, and in our turtley whatever there is this shaded spruce ribbon that we have that has a little bit of this soft seafoam on the back of it, but I can technically like kind of turn it in there, twist it so that I could have the green up on both sides. So that's what I ended up doing. So I cut myself a piece of this ribbon, and you'll want to, I mean, you can fill it afterwards, but if you wanted something that comes up a little bit higher, you would want to do that. Whoops, I've got this the wrong way. We got to go this way so it comes up like that. There we go. And then I do have to flip it so that when it comes up on the other side, it's the green side, the darker green side, and not the lighter green side like that. See why we put those little things in? See how it's got to push out a little bit when I bring these together. So, and maybe you can't maybe see that as well because I have, like, I can feel it on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of our white baker's twine. Comes in an essentials pack. And I'm just going to tie these together. And I tied it in a knot, and then from the knot, I tied it in a bow. Just stayed a little bit better and was easier to tie the bow. So there's our knot. And then we'll tie that into a bow. And like I said, if you have some like clear treat bags, you know how you can get like gift bags for like when kids come to a birthday party and stuff like that. So if you had any bags like that that you wanted to fill with maybe some couple pieces of homemade candy or something like that that you wanted to give to somebody, you could put them in that bag, and the bag could be a little bit taller, and you could forego what I'm doing with the ribbon. Okay, so I'm tying it shut is what I'm doing with mine. But what you could do is you could stick your little bag in there that has your homemade candy and have the bag even come up above this and then tie this in a ribbon or in a bow at the top of your bag to close your bag. And that could be your ribbon rather than having it the way that I do. Or tag the box. Yes, you could do that too. You could just put a tag. You could make it a tag for the box. I think that's what you're talking, like you put a tag on it. So there is our fun little gift box. I will be giving these away. I think I'm going to be making these for the people that I work with for St. Nick's Day. And I think, I don't know, St. Nick's Day is something that's really popular here. Most people around the state have never, or around the country, have never heard of St. Nick's Day. I think it's because we've got a lot of, I think it's a Dutch heritage, because when my understanding is that people used to put their wooden shoes out, and then in the morning they were filled with candy from St. Nicholas, because it's the feast day in the Catholic Church for St. Nicholas on December 8th. So on December 7th at night, St. Nicholas comes and he fills your stockings, or if you put your shoes out, he fills your shoes with little treats. So I thought I could make these for the people that I work with, since I'm at a Catholic church and it is the feast day of St. Nicholas, and I could just fill these with some little treats and put them on their desks when they got to work. I bet you could put a gift card in between some candy in a cello bag too. You bet you could, Kathy Miller. This is definitely, here are my gift cards. It's definitely wide enough to get a little gift card in there. You bet it is. And add a little candy with a little cello bag. It would be perfect. All right, so there's our little, I can go like this. That way you have the person's name if you want to go look at her video, or you can come back and watch my video, either one. But I did want to give her credit. I don't like to steal people's ideas and not give them credit. So Cheryl Dorsey from Cheryl Stampin' Squad is where I got this idea. And like I said, she did use the Festive Friends too. So the only thing I really did was change the label, the ribbon. I colored it a little bit different, but it's really her idea. So that's our little gift treat box. Here is our Christmas card using the Christmas tags and more. And then we have my favorite here, our little, I don't even know which one. Oh, we made the one with the Calypso coral. Well, look at that. I'm out of the, I don't think I can get them all in the frame here because I got to move this down. Let's see if I move this way and like that. This is down and there. I don't think you're going to get all of them on a picture, but I can try to get as many as possible. We've got these dimensions here along with that card, which you don't see all of it, but you see quite a bit of it. All right, so there are our projects for tonight. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mary. I'm thinking December 8th is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. You are right, Mary. St. Nick comes on the 5th and everybody gets their stuff on the 6th. The Feast of St. Nicholas is on the 6th of December. The 8th of December is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. So you are right, Mary. Thank you for correcting me, because people would have been like, and I should change my camera here. Hi, Lila. You are so sweet, Lila. Let me come here. I'll come and talk to you, actually. When I was campus minister at Xavier, we had a musician that came and was doing a retreat for some of our students. And he happened to bring his little kids with him. And I said to him, oh, tonight is St. Nick's night. They should put their shoes out. Because, of course, I didn't have stockings for them. I don't have any kids. And they're like, what are you talking about? They were from Texas. What are you talking about? And so I had to explain the whole concept of St. Nick's. And that's when I realized that even in the state of Wisconsin, like some people that live in different parts of the state that aren't in an area that has a lot of, I don't know if it's German or like we have a lot of Dutch immigrants But I don't know where it technically comes from, but it's like amazing how people don't know about it, but it's so huge for us around here. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for all of your compliments and saying how much you love this stuff. I will be back again next week, God willing, right? And it'll be Thursday at 6:30. If you have any special requests, put them in the comments, because I would be happy to make something that you're looking for. Um, Oh, her little neighbor said St. Nick comes because it's her birthday. That's so cute. My brother's birthday is on December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. That's how I can always remember that feast day. Um, but anyway, if you have any suggestions of things you'd like to see me do in a video, I love to have that because it gives me then, oh, I should try to work on that. So it's German. Thanks, Lori. I thought it was, but I wasn't positive because I knew that the Dutch always put their wooden shoes out, and I know that's very Dutch. So I wasn't completely positive. All right. Thank you guys so much. You have a great week. I hope this has inspired you to do something creative, whether it be on the weekend or whatever. I know everybody's busy this time of year, but hopefully you can find some time to be creative. And I will see you back here next week. Thanks. Bye bye.